CBS News national security correspondent David Martin is at the Pentagon. David, thank you for joining us. 100 senators have been invited to the White House today for a classified briefing on North Korea. They were invited by Secretaries Tillerson and Mattis. First, how rare is a meeting like this? And any guidance on what these senators might be told?
Well, briefings for all 100 members of the Senate are rare, but not totally unprecedented, although this is the first time that I can remember that all the senators came to the White House as opposed to the briefers going up to Capitol Hill. They're going to hear from four people. They're going to hear from the Director of National Intelligence, Dan Coats. They're going to hear from Secretary of State Tillerson. They're going to hear from Secretary of Defense Mattis. And they're going to hear from the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Joseph Dunford. Coats will almost certainly outline the North Korean threat, specifically their ballistic missile and nuclear weapons programs. The big question there is how long will it take North Korea to acquire a missile with a nuclear weapon that can reach the United States? That is what President Trump has said, quote unquote, won't happen. So one big question is when does the U.S. and North Korea meet that moment of truth? Secretary of State Tillerson is the man who declared an end to the policy of strategic patience with North Korea. He'll be the one leading the campaign to bring tougher sanctions against North Korea, which really means convincing China, which controls about 80% of North Korea's economy, convincing China to bring tougher sanctions. And he will undoubtedly outline the prospects for tougher sanctions, convincing North Korea that it should give up its nuclear weapons program. Then you get to the military options with the Secretary of Defense and the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs. And the fact is, there is no good military option for taking out North Korea's nuclear weapons program, because North Korea has hundreds of artillery pieces trained on the city of Seoul in South Korea, and there really would not be any possible way for the U.S. to stop that artillery barrage from at least beginning and causing immense destruction in one of the most densely packed capitals of the world. But there are military actions that the U.S. can take. They're doing it now with the carrier Vinson, just a show of military force. But beyond that, there are things the U.S. military can do. It can conduct cyber attacks that sabotage the North Korean missile and nuclear programs. And it could, for instance, begin intercepting North Korean ships at sea in an effort to better enforce any new sanctions.
David, when you talk about cyber attacks and sabotaging these missiles, is there a sense from the Pentagon how effective that may be in North Korea?
No.
I'm not surprised.
You know, they've been doing it now for some number of years, and they're never sure, at least if they are sure, I haven't found out about it. They're never sure whether if a test fails, it was the result of something the U.S. did with a cyber attack or electronic jamming, or if it was simply a mistake that the North Koreans made. But with or without cyber attacks, the fact is that every time the North Koreans conduct a missile test, whether it succeeds or fails, they learn something. And it's another incremental step in the development of their missile program.
Fascinating take from the Pentagon. Our David Martin. Thank you for joining us, David.
Sure thing.